This is the motto of the show Hour of the Truth. Rome never changes. They used to call us heretics and sent the Inquisition to kill us. Today they call us terrorists and send on their crusades. Times and methods may have changed, the goal still stays the same. Extirpate the remnant of the true Word of God, Bible-believing people who uphold the truth in Jesus Christ's name.
From 1203 to 1805, 50 million Christians died, suffering at the hands of Rome, 'cause they believed in Christ alone. They died through Europe, especially Spain, where they saw all but Christ as vain. He suffered by his death for men, to save them from their awful sin. 600 years of martyred saints that history cannot erase. With iron heel and iron hand, the Roman popes rule the land. Those ignorant of history may be swept into apostasy. We won't be lulled by Rome's sweet lie, with 50 million reasons why. Salvation is by faith alone, in Christ alone, by grace alone. A sovereign God give faith to man. Salvation's in the Maker's hand. This gospel offends Rome today. They offer up another way, a counterfeit, a compromise. Beware the ancient papal lie, with such a cloud of witnesses who by grace died in their Lord. Recall their memory to say, by the same faith we live today.
If it walks like a duck and talks like a duck, it quacks like a duck, it is a Jesuit. That's it. When Donaldus Trumpfius, Donald Trump, the new elected American president, walks like a Jesuit, talks like a Jesuit, quacks like a Jesuit, he probably is a Jesuit. Welcome to the second video of Hour of the Truth, little series, Donaldus Trumpfius. I hope you had some time to reflect on the very first video. And of course I changed this known sentence a little bit. If it walks like a duck and talks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's a duck. So when it walks like a Jesuit and talks like a Jesuit and quacks like a Jesuit, means preaches like a Jesuit, then it probably is a Jesuit, or at least a Jesuit coadjutor. And that is what I say Donaldus Trumpfius, as we like to call him in this little series, is. When we see that he has been educated by Jesuits in Pennsylvania University and in Fordham University, and then later in Penn U, the other university we were speaking about last time. When someone is educated by Jesuits, he will also teach Jesuitism. When someone is educated by a Catholic system, he will teach Catholicism. You have to understand that these people are very much educated in the art of sophistry and casuistry. And by that, the things they say appear good, positive, righteous, correct, true, but they are 180 degrees opposite of that. And you also have to remind yourself that every American president, and not only American president, also other presidents, even kings and queens, when they swear their oath, when they are put into office, they use mental reservation. What is this mental reservation, Jörg? Well, this mental reservation means that they can swear any oath, can pledge any pledge they want to, and they can break it because the Pope will forgive them. And why will the Pope forgive them? Because when using mental reservation, this means that the church is the winner in the end. That's why they use mental reservation. And it's maybe appropriate for you to go back to my reading that I did on All Roads Lead to Rome, where I read the coronation oath, you know, about the mental reservation that was taken away from the online version of the 1913 Roman Catholic Encyclopedia, but I read to you that it is in the printed version. The mental reservation is mentioned. It is not mentioned in the online version. So Donald Trump, when he took the oath of the office of the United States of America, to swear allegiance to the country and to defend the country from all enemies within and without, without and within, he used mental reservation. He could say anything he wanted. It doesn't matter. Because he acts as his master tells him. And his master is the Pope. Or the Black Pope. The general of the Society of Jesus. He doesn't even have to go that far. He has a direct superior above him. Mostly the vice president. And Jesuit educated people within his cabinet, or Jesuits inside of his cabinet, and if he sets 1 foot away from the agenda that they have planned for him, then he will be JFK'd. Like JFK. Like Abraham Lincoln. And a few other American presidents. For that, go to my playlist Behind the Door, where I upload the videos from Bill Hughes on my second channel. And you can have a look at those. But we are here today to continue on the video series, the small series called Donaldus Trumpfius, and I wanted to show you a few videos. Now, these videos that I selected, I wanted to show you here, you can read here that this video is no more available, and also this one is no more available, and also the one we watched last time, the Jesuit Coadjutor Bridge Builder video, is not available anymore. I'm not sure of which YouTube channel I took this. I don't even find this YouTube channel anymore. It's called Robin M. Fisher, if I'm not mistaken. And he uploaded these videos within a few weeks, and I downloaded them all because I was already pregnant with the idea of doing this Donaldus Trumpfius video and series, An Hour of the Truth. And I wanted to use them in there, but of course I needed a desktop camera that works like this one that I have now. Wonderfully. Thank you very much, Jarno, who is the son of a good friend of mine over here in Belgium, who gave me the link to this OBS Studio desktop camera, with which now I can even use the movies playing that we were seeing last time. I've prepared a few more videos. As you can see, one is called America's Jesuit Catholic Founding Fathers. Here we are dealing with the Carroll family, and that you understand a little bit better who founded America, away from the so-called founding fathers that you are always taught in school. And there is a fourth video that is called The Catholic Church Teaches by Jesuit Fathers of St. Mary's College. Also a very interesting video. And of course then we have a Jesuit Georgetown Illuminati Witches, Wizards and War Criminals video. We have a video that was made by Alan Lamont, who I don't have any contact with anymore, but he made a video that is called The Vatican, Another Jesus, the Jesuit Babylonian Sun God. No more available, but under another link. And we have the seventh video. But okay, we have to start now with the third video, which is America's Jesuit Catholic Founding Fathers, the Carroll family. Because this is a little bit of history I want you to know. And history, you know, is always absolutely necessary to understand the things that we are reading and discussing here on Hour of the Truth. So this is this video, and it's not so long. It's only 3 minutes and 24 seconds. So let's have a look at this one. So, you see, this was quite an interesting little video to start with, wasn't it? Now, the point, and that's why I'm showing this video to you, is that the history that you are told in the schools, in the universities, in the books that you can buy, in the books that you can get out of your library most of the time, that history that you are told in those books is not the real history. And I was busy a lot in the past with exposing the Carroll family and their influence in the founding of America, because I thought it absolutely necessary, especially after reading Rulers of Evil by F. Tapasauci, that we understand that the government of the new founded United States of America nation that was established in 1789, the government of that nation was from the beginning Roman Catholic. But the population of that country was at that time about 98% Protestant. So they were covert Catholics, not overt. And I went through a whole series of that in Hour of the Truth in the Past. When you want to learn more about the history of the Jesuits and the history of the Carroll family, Daniel, Charles, and John, go to the archive of the playlist of Hour of the Truth. Look for the videos that I did more than a year ago, about 2 years ago now. There are numerous videos where I speak about the Carroll family, and you can educate yourself. But this is very important, because when I make a video now about Donaldus Trumpfius and I call him a Roman, the President of the United States of America, I have to base that on facts. And the facts are that, as we all know, in Revelation 13 it speaks about two beasts, the one out of the sea, that is the Vatican, and the other one out of the wilderness, that is the United States of America. And we have to see that this second beast is in accordance, is not only in accordance with the first beast, but also this second beast is doing everything the first beast asks it to do. Yeah? So the point is that when this second beast is fulfilling the agenda of the first beast, it must have some affiliation with it. And the affiliation is Rome. Because, as we can read in Rulers of Evil, in the land records of 1663, the river Potomac was called Tiber, and Washington, what we call today Washington, was called Rome. Okay? It was the Rome at the Potomac, called even at that time. But let's not go too far into this. We are going about to speak about Donaldus Trumpfius and his Roman, his Jesuit agenda. That's what we are talking about. Donaldus Trumpfius. So you just saw in this little video how the Carroll family, and especially John Carroll, the first Archbishop, the first Catholic bishop in the United States of America anyway, founded the bishopric of Baltimore in 1808, and he was the founder of Georgetown University. And last time we read that, what's his name, Eric something, his eldest son, the eldest son of Donald Trump, Eric Frederick Trump, he is an alma mater of Georgetown University. So when he is an alma mater of Georgetown University, which is the most renowned Jesuit university in the United States of America, we have to understand a little bit about the history of that. And we saw already a few movies last time where it went into Jesuit Georgetown University, and we will see some more this in this video, because the very next video that I'm gonna show you is called The Church Catholic, the Roman Catholic Church teaches Jesuit fathers of St. Mary's College. And now let's have a look at this. It's only 3 minutes long.
Here we have page 74. I'm going to put this screenshot up there because I want you to actually see this. This is very, very, very significant. Of this book right here, The Church Teaches by the Jesuits. Okay? I want you to see this thing. This is very important to get. Okay, it says here, quote, number 154 there, it says, "We are taught by the words of the gospel that in this church and under its control there are two swords, the spiritual and the temporal. Both of these, that is, the spiritual and the temporal swords, are under the control of the church. The first is wielded by the church, the second is wielded on behalf of the church." The temporal sword, going out and starting wars and fighting and killing and police actions and stuff like that, military wars, it's done on behalf of the church. Continuing here. "The first is wielded by the hand of the priest," the spiritual, They're trying to say this here, which of course the Catholics aren't really Bible believers, so it's not true. But look at this. Look at the part here in the highlighted. "The second by the hand of kings and soldiers, but at the wish and by the permission of the priests." Okay? Sword must be subordinated to sword, and it is only fitting that the temporal authority should be subject to the spiritual. Now, you might not realize how significant this is. Okay? You might just be sitting there going, what's the big deal? This thing is written by Jesuits. Okay? Study the Jesuit order. These are the people who are running everything. Okay? You say, I thought it's the Illuminati. Adam Weishaupt, there in Bavaria, he was a Jesuit. Okay? It's the Jesuit order that's running things. And you say, how's that line up with the Bible? Revelation chapter 17 verse 18 says, "And the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth." So then you mean that the Roman Catholic Church actually rules all the governments out there? Absolutely. You say, prove that, Brian. Okay. Watch the news. Watch our presidents go over there to the Vatican and bow down and kiss his ring. Watch it. The Vatican is not a church. It's a political power. The most powerful form of politics on the planet. And if the Vatican decides that a man is going to not get into office or the man is going to be assassinated, he's assassinated. If you think that the Vatican is this powerless, just little religious system over there, you are quite deceived. Okay?
And that's with most of the people, they are quite deceived because they don't understand that the Roman Catholic Church in the very first place is a political power. It is the continuation of the pagan Roman Empire. That was in the first place a political power, and so is the Roman Catholic Church. But that pagan political power hides itself under the garment of Christianity. And it has the complete education system and media system, not only in the United States of America, but all over the world in control. I like very much what Tom Friess always says about this. And you really have to listen to First Amendment Radio's broadcasts of Tom Friess's Inquisition Update. Go to the archives or go to my my playlist of Inquisition Update, or go to the YouTube channel of First Amendment Radio and go to the archives there, to the playlist of Tom Friess, to understand what he says. Because this is what Tom Friess says. First I'm gonna take a picture of Tom Friess in here, okay? I guess that is quite appropriate when I'm talking about him, that we can take a picture of Tom Friess here. Not of course of his person, but of one of the logos that I'm always using, and that you can have a look now. Tom Friess from Inquisition Update states, of course, the protest is not over. Tom Friess from Inquisition Update says, the Reformation set the people, especially in Europe in the first place, free. Free from the yoke of Rome, because the Antichrist was ruling there from whether 538 You may believe that, what were discussing last point, or from 606, but 1260 years, the Antichrist was ruling in Rome. All the kings, all the governments of Europe, of the known quote-unquote civilized world at that time, were under the yoke, under the control, on the strings, as you can see here, of the papacy at that time. And the Reformation, giving the people the Bible in their own words, set them free. And the Pope lost control of the governments of the people. He lost control of the governments of the Netherlands, of Belgium, of France, of Germany, of Poland, of Sweden, of Hungary, of a lot, of almost half of Europe at that time, and even more later on, because the people understood the Pope is the Antichrist. And then came the wrong teaching of Jesuit Francisco Rabira, who taught the Antichrist is not the papacy. The Antichrist is a single person that comes only 7 years before Jesus Christ's return. And because they were teaching the unfulfilled 70th week prophecy of the prophet Daniel. And I'm not going into details here because this is a Donaldus Trumpfius video, but I want to give you a little bit historical background and the things that Tom says. So in the very first place, the Reformers, the Reformation itself, and the Protestants that came out of it, they all accepted the biblical taught truth that the papacy is the Antichrist. And because of that, the Pope lost his power. And then the Pope called in the Counter-Reformation by founding the Jesuit order of Ignatius Loyola in 1540 and starting with the Council of Trent in 1545. And they were sworn and are sworn, and for that go to my Jesuit oath that I read and nothing but the truth. They are sworn to exterminate Protestantism from the face of the earth. They were then, they still are. And they did that by teaching everyone the Pope is not the Antichrist. The Antichrist is a single individual person that comes 7 years before Christ returns. So now, today, with the ecumenical movement, with the charismatic movement, and with this false teaching of the futurist Antichrist, everybody having accepted already that the papacy is not in the Antichrist anymore, the papacy says, okay, then when I am not the Antichrist, and this is what Tom says in all his broadcasts, if I, the Pope, am not the Antichrist anymore, then you have to restore me in the glory that I had before the Reformation, because the Reformation was a mistake, because Protestantism was a mistake. And therefore, the papacy, the first beast, uses the second beast, which is, I'm very sorry to say, the United States of America, represented by its president, Donaldus Trumpfius, for the moment. This is why you have more than, I don't know, a few hundred military bases all over the world. In every country, America has military bases. This is why America is so sovereign in the world. It is not the policeman of the world, it is the arm of the Roman Catholic Church. The United States of America, the second beast of Revelation, is exactly that, what Pope Leo asked from the German Kaiser at the end of the 19th century, when Pope Leo XIII said to the German Kaiser, I want Germany to be the military arm of the Roman Catholic Church again. And you can read that in the memoirs of the German Kaiser. And I speak about this in the book Behind the Dictators that you can find on the playlist on my YouTube channel. This history lesson that I'm just speaking about here with you is so important to understand the actions and the things that Donald Trump is doing. You have to understand this to understand everything that he is doing, everything that your whole government, that your so-called free elected government is doing. Why you are losing all these freedoms since 9/11, 2001. Why? Because those freedoms were given to you by the Reformation. And by accepting that the Pope is not the Antichrist anymore, you are restoring the former glory of the Pope. That's the point. So now, before we gonna continue here, I wanna do something else. I wanna read something else to you. So let's put this away and let's put this away. And here I have an open letter to Donald Trump. And this open letter I want to read to you now. And after that, we're going to have another look at Jesuit history in the United States of America, of Georgetown University, and we have another look at Donald Trump, at Donaldus Trumpfius. I want to read to you this open letter to Donald Trump, as I call it. It is a newsletter that I received from a brother in Australia whose name is Bruce Telfer, and who publishes these under the name of Signs of the Times. And this one is called Alternative Facts versus Fake News, originally posted on February 23rd, 2017. By the way, today is the 30th of July, so that's a few months later. Quotes of the Times. We're an empire now, and when we act, we create our own reality. And while you're studying that reality, we'll act again, creating other new realities, which you can study too. And that's how things will sort out. We're history's actors. This is a statement from Karl Rove, senior advisor of George Bush Jr. administration, speaking to journalist Ronald Suskind in the New York Times Magazine, April of 2005. We're an empire now, and when we act, we create our own reality. Isn't that what paganism is all about? Listen to what Henry Kissinger said. It is not a matter of what is true that counts, but a matter of what is perceived to be true. This is what Henry Kissinger said. It doesn't matter what is true, but only what you believe is true. And there is a very interesting little statement from, I think this guy's name was Casey. He was a former CIA director. And he said, "We'll know our disinformation program is complete when everything the American public believes is false." William Casey, Knight of Malta, CIA Director, 1981. And here with another picture, the same quote. "We'll know our disinformation program is complete when everything the US public believes is false." William J. Casey, Knight of Malta, CIA Director. Doesn't that fit wonderfully with the quote of senior advisor Karl Rove to George Bush and to what Henry Kissinger says here? It is not a matter of what is true that counts, but a matter of what is perceived to be true. You tell me. Listen what Joseph Goebbels, the director of the Nazi propaganda department, had to say. "Truth," Joseph Goebbels said, "is the enemy of the state." And Calvin, of Calvin and Hobbes, a cartoon strip that I don't know, but you American guys probably know, says, "Reality keeps ruining my life. Because I love to live in a dream world, reality keeps ruining my life." Now, after we have read these few quotes, I'm going to read to you an open letter to Donald Trump from Bruce Telfer, Signs of the Times. So these are not my words, but I can assure you I'll sign for these words. I will read this open letter to Donald Trump without any explanation right now. So I won't interrupt to maybe here and there to go any deeper into any explanation. I will just read this open letter to Donaldus Trumpfius to you right now. Dear Donald, we all like a bit of delusion in our lives. After all, that is what keeps most of us happy. But you, Donald, have far too much delusion in your life to be a good US president. For example, you say you're going to drain the swamp. But how can you drain the swamp when you have invited much of it already into the White House? How can you drain the swamp when you're submerged in the swamp yourself? We would all like to see you pull the plug, Donald, but what does it actually mean to drain the swamp? Does it mean you're fired? Or does it mean you're jailed? If it means the latter, what does that mean for Crooked Hillary? That's what you called her, Donald. Show us that you mean it. Or are you just deluding yourself and us too? In addition, you keep bashing the enemies of the American people, the mainstream media, for their biased news coverage, which you call fake news. Then you serve your alternative facts back to them, which they call fake news. For us ordinary folks who live on Main Street, Donaldus, it's getting very confusing. We don't know how to differentiate between fake news and alternative facts. Perhaps we should just call all of it propaganda. Maybe that would help. What do you think, Donaldus? Donaldus, this is not making America great again. This is turning America into a live television reality and horror show. And if it is making half the world laugh, it is making the other half nervous. Donaldus, I'm going to try and be helpful and try to explain something fundamentally important. Today, everyone and everything has an agenda. All these agendas are driven by ideology. Ideology is a big word, Donaldus, but it simply means ideas or a system of ideas. In today's world, Donaldus, everybody has an ideology, a system of ideas that they subscribe to. It is a person's ideology that gives them their identity and motivates their behavior in a certain direction, which is what creates an agenda. Because they identify with the ideology so strongly, when a piece of reality strays into the trajectory of their lives, they reject reality in favor of the ideology. Ask a psychologist, Donaldus. They call it cognitive dissonance. The point being, Donaldus, that these delusional nutters refuse to allow reality to ruin their lives. So the next time you have a confrontation with the media, you need to realize they are not telling lies about you. They actually believe every word they say and every word that they write. They believe it because their ideological mindset tells them it is true. But Donaldus, watch out for cognitive dissonance. We all have it to some degree, and presidents of the United States of America are not immune. They are, in fact, highly susceptible. The reason why they hate you so much, Donaldus, is because they don't believe in making America great again. Your policy is diametrically opposed to theirs. Collectively, your political opponents are called globalists. And the neoconservatives, or neocons, which infest the Washington swamp, are the most dangerous globalists of all. You see, Donaldus, you are standing in their way, and your ideology is too Americana for them. You need to understand, Donaldus, that in order to create the one world global paradise on earth, America needs to be diminished, not restored. Are you familiar with the concepts of equilibrium, Donaldus? That's when everything is reduced to a common denominator. Well, that's what they want, Donaldus. That's the agenda, paradise on earth, where everybody is the same, has the same, and thinks the same. They call it common good, Donaldus. Just when everything was going so well for these social manipulators, you, Donaldus, with your alternative facts and your America First policy, rudely intruded yourself into their collective delusion. You are the reality that they will not allow to ruin their lives. They will attack you until they destroy you. I fear, Donaldus, that you don't know how to distinguish between a Jesuit-trained neocon and a true American patriot. Do you not realize that you should have defended our National Security Advisor General Flynn to the 9th degree? You allowed them to remove one of your team without as much as an alternative fact counterattack. Do you not realize that was not an attack against Flynn? That was an attack against you! Now they smell blood in the water. The swamp critters will now be looking for their next victim. The goal is to isolate you, and once you are isolated, they will try to take you down by impeaching you. They will claim that you are a traitor for wanting to make peace with Russia. That's why they constantly demonize all things Russian and all things Putin. They are going to beat you with a stick labeled "Beware the Russian Bear." Watch your back, Donaldus. If you want to survive, get out of the swamp and pull the plug. God bless. Bruce Telfer. But you know, you don't saw on the branch of the tree that you're sitting on, eh? You don't bite the hand that feeds you, you can also say. I like this open letter, and here and there of course are things I could comment on, but I'm spare myself for that, and I'm gonna spare yourself of my comments of these. It is quite interesting how Bruce Telfer, an Australian, saw this Donald Trump thing, and we have to understand that a Jesuit is everything to everyone. So Donaldus Trumpfius can be to you the good president that you were always looking for, but in the end you are choosing a Jesuit. And I think it is time to go to our next video. We have this about the Jesuit Georgetown Illuminati, witches, wizard, and war criminals video. It's about 15 minutes long, and it's very much interesting to watch. So let's have a look at this 5th video.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Professor Michael Bailey, Chair of the Department of Government, Ron Klain, and Kevin Spacey. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Dr. Victor Cha, Director of Asian Studies Program, School of Foreign Service, Dr. Robert Groves, Provost of Georgetown University, and Ambassador Susan Rice, Assistant to the President for National Security Affairs.
good morning and welcome. It's a pleasure to gather with you this morning for this wonderful event, a lecture by the President of the World Bank, Dr. Jim Young Kim.
And thank you so much for coming out this afternoon. My name is Kevin Preskennis. I am a senior in the college, and I'm very proud to welcome former Speaker of the House and Republican presidential candidate Newt Gingrich to Georgetown today.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Lindsay Bruinsma, an MBA candidate at the McDonough School of Business, John J. DeGioia, President of Georgetown University, Brian T. Moynihan, CEO of Bank of America, and Warren E. Buffett, Chairman of the Board and CEO of Berkshire Hathaway.
Lancaster, Dean of the School of Foreign Service, Georgetown University, and Secretary of State, Hillary Rodham Clinton. Please welcome to the stage John J. DeGioia, President of Georgetown University, and President Bill Clinton, founder Clinton Foundation and 42nd President of the United States. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Robert Groves, Provost of Georgetown University, and Leon Panetta, the Secretary of Defense.
Good morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage John J. DeGioia, President of Georgetown University.
in Secretary John Kerry.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Hillary, for a very, very generous introduction. And thank you most of all for the remarkable work that you have done.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States.
So much. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Everybody, please have a seat. Please have a seat. It is wonderful to be back at Georgetown. Thank you. Thank you, Georgetown. Hey. Thank you so much. Now, thank you, Georgetown.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Amu Menon, MBA student, David A. Thomas, Dean of the McDonough School of Business, John J. DeGioia, President of Georgetown University, Brian Moynihan, CEO of Bank of America, and Bono.
Excellencies, special guests, Provost O'Donnell, faculty, students, and friends, and Foreign Minister Davutoglu. I'm Carol Lancaster, Dean of the Edmund A. Walsh School of Foreign Service, here on the campus of Georgetown University.
Welcome. My name is Rob Manuel, and I'm the Dean of the School of Continuing Studies at Georgetown. Along with our partners today, Parenting Magazine, Parenting Group, we welcome you this morning to the Moms Congress on Education and Learning. I want to once again welcome you to Georgetown on behalf of Parenting and Georgetown. Welcome, Secretary Duncan.
Good morning. Guys, it's a real honor to be here. We had a fantastic conversation last year and really appreciate the opportunity.
It's a great pleasure and an honor for me to be here at Georgetown University, a university that I have always admired, not only for the quality of its scholarship, but also for its commitment, its long-term, fervent commitment to teaching undergraduate students. I want to join in congratulating the faculty for their promotions.
Tony Blair, former Prime Minister of England. Rupert Murdoch, owner of Fox and Knight, a papal knight of the Order of St. Gregory. See that hand symbol there? Of Bono? Yeah? We are talking about Georgetown Jesuit University. Compagnie de Jesus. The Company of Jesus, the Society of Jesus, is nothing more but the military arm of the Antichrist of the Bible. They are all satanic. They are all devil worshippers. And that's why you can stand up there, do your speech, and give the devil's horn a greeting to your master. Isn't that Rick Warren there? Here? Isn't that supposed to be a Protestant? Huh? Like, let's see, Donaldus Trumpfius was to be a Protestant, a Presbyterian? Huh. Okay. Yeah. Ron Paul. He has been multiple times to Rome. Still, a lot of people think that Ron Paul should have been elected president. He is a Jesuit puppet like all the others, speaking at Georgetown University. Yeah, quite interesting, right? So why am I showing this video of Georgetown University? Because after all, this video is called Donaldus Trumpfius Part 2. Well, people, because if it walks like a duck and talks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it is probably a duck. Or when it walks like a Jesuit, talks like a Jesuit, and preaches like a Jesuit, it is probably a Jesuit. And Donaldus Trumpfius, who has been Jesuit educated at Fordham and Penn U, and 3 of his children went to Jesuit-controlled universities, walks like a duck, talks like a duck, quacks like a duck, so it is a duck. He walks like a Jesuit, he talks like a Jesuit, he preaches like a Jesuit, so he's probably a Jesuit, or at least a Jesuit coadjutor. Okay? I'm not going to make a distinction here between whether he's a Jesuit coadjutor or he's a complete Jesuit. I don't care. He is working their agenda. Nothing more. You saw all these pictures of all these quote-unquote famous persons from Georgetown University yourself. What do you think they are doing there? They are showing their allegiance to the system that Georgetown University stands for. Georgetown University stands for Jesuits in the United States of America. The Jesuits stand for the Roman Catholic Church, and the Roman Catholic Church is the counterfeit church of Jesus Christ. The Roman Catholic Church is the false church. And the Roman Catholic Church and the Jesuits have sworn to end Protestantism. And we are living in 2017. Get on the full armor of God when we come to the 500th anniversary of 1517, when Martin Luther nailed the 95 Theses at the church door in Wittenberg on the 31st of October this year. Don't go out and celebrate some Halloween. Celebrate Reformation Day. So we have watched the 4th and the 5th video, and then we are going to do the other videos next time in part 3 of the video called Donaldus Trumpfius in the series of Hour of the Truth. Do a little bit of your own studies. I advise you, really by heart, I beg you, go to the archives of Hour of the Truth. Go to the archives of First Amendment Radio, whether the YouTube channel or the real First Amendment Radio website. Listen to First Amendment Radio's broadcast of Inquisition Update of Tom Friess. Watch the videos that are made of his book readings of the Global Vatican, where Francis Rooney, a former U.S. ambassador to the quote-unquote Holy See between 2005 and 2008, a Knight of Malta, boasts about how the Vatican rules not only the foreign but also the internal politics of the United States of America. The Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, and the Black Pope, they need an actor who is doing their bidding. And their actor for 2017 is Donaldus Trumpfius. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for studying. And if you have any questions concerning what shall you study, links that I should provide, leave your questions in the description box of the video. Every honest question that asks for an answer will be answered by me. And you can also contact Tom Friess from Inquisition Update. His email address I will try to put here in the last screen that you are seeing now at the end of the video. And I will of course put it also in the description box of the video. tom@seawaves.us. tom@seawaves.us, as the waves of the sea, SEAWAVES.us. tom@seawaves.us. He's always looking for people who are honestly searching the truth, to get in correspondence with and share the knowledge that he has gotten by studying the Bible and reading these books that he did in the past, like the Global Vatican, like Romanism and the Republic, like Romanism and the Reformation, like Rome and Civil Liberty, like Rome and the Civil Power, like so many books I cannot even count them all here. He is a walking encyclopedia when it comes to the futurist deception of the Antichrist. He can tell you everything about it. And I beg you, write to Tom, write to me, do your own research and see that Donaldus Trumpfius is just another papal puppet who is not doing anything for the good of the American people, but is doing everything for the Roman Catholic Church. With this, I'm going to end this video. Thank you very much for watching, commentating, listening, and I'll see you next time for the third part of Donaldus Trumpfius in Hour of the Truth. Until then, may God bless you. Joggler66 from Hour of the Truth signing off, saying bye-bye. We must start at the foot of the cross. For our souls in danger, we're at loss. And when we kneel in that awesome place, at that very moment, you'll feel God's grace. Friend, let me tell you, you need to know, there is heaven, also hell below. Christ died on that cross to set you free from your vile sins and hell's agony. You're God's enemy without the cross. Reject Christ, and to God you're dross. To the prison of hell he will send, just Christ's work on the cross makes amends. God hates those who try to enter in, the gates of heaven still full of sin. Only his Son can take sin away. Go to the foot of the cross this day. God has provided only one way to enter heaven's wondrous array. Accept what Jesus did for us all. He paid our debt, so hell won't befall. Go to the foot of the cross this day. His precious blood washes sin away. We each need to think more of his cross. Without our Savior, we're total loss.